Episode 1: Awakening of the Outcast. The rain poured relentlessly over the crumbling streets of Eastbridge, a neighborhood forgotten by time and prosperity. Streetlights flickered sporadically, casting eerie shadows on the puddled sidewalks. In a small, cramped apartment on the fourth floor of a decaying building, Alex Mercer sat hunched over a battered laptop, his fingers dancing furiously across the keyboard. Alex wasn't just any teenager. He was the pillar of his family. With his mother working 2 jobs and his younger sister, Mia, relying on him for support, Alex had grown up too fast. Despite the hardships, he maintained an infectious sense of humor, always ready with a joke to lighten the mood. His friends often marveled at his uncanny luck. Whether it was finding a rare comic book in the trash or narrowly escaping a mishap, Alex seemed to have fortune on his side, though he often shrugged it off as mere coincidence. "Hey, Alex, dinner's ready," his mother called from downstairs, her voice tinged with exhaustion but filled with love. Alex smiled, shutting his laptop with a sigh. "Coming, Mom," he replied, heading down the narrow staircase. As he descended, he couldn't help but glance at the cracked walls adorned with faded posters of forgotten bands and heroes. Dinner was a modest affair: stale bread, a can of soup, and the occasional vegetable. They ate in comfortable silence, each lost in their own thoughts. After the meal, Alex retreated to his room, seeking solace in the world of his favorite science fiction novels and video games. Tonight, however, something felt different. A persistent itch in his mind, a sense that his life was about to change in ways he couldn't yet comprehend. "Maybe I should take a walk," he mused, grabbing his worn-out jacket. The night air was cool, the streets empty except for the occasional stray cat darting into shadows. He wandered aimlessly, his thoughts a tangled web of worries and dreams. Turning a corner, Alex noticed a faint glow emanating from an alleyway he had never explored before. Curiosity piqued, he approached cautiously. The source of the light was an old, rusted device partially buried under debris, a sleek metallic object with intricate patterns and a pulsating core. It looked out of place, a relic from a forgotten era, or perhaps something more otherworldly. "What the heck is this?" he whispered to himself, reaching out to touch the device. As his fingers made contact, a surge of energy coursed through him, and the world around him began to blur and distort. The sounds of the city faded into silence, replaced by a deep, resonating hum that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. His vision swirled with colors he couldn't name, and a sensation of weightlessness enveloped him. Panic set in as he struggled to comprehend what was happening, but his natural resilience took over. Instead of succumbing to fear, Alex's humor surfaced. "Well, this is one way to get out of chores," he quipped to himself, though the gravity of the situation was not lost on him. The last thing he saw before darkness swallowed him was the device's core expanding, drawing him into its enigmatic embrace. A new world, Alex awoke to a strange sensation. The ground beneath him was smooth and warm, unlike any surface he had felt before. Slowly opening his eyes, he was greeted by a landscape that defied logic. Towering structures made of shimmering materials reached towards the sky, their surfaces reflecting light in iridescent patterns. The air buzzed with unseen energy, and strange plant-like organisms pulsed gently with light. Where am I?" Alex muttered, sitting up and taking in his surroundings. His worn jacket and jeans felt out of place in this surreal environment. In the distance, a massive tower loomed, its peak obscured by swirling clouds of light. As he stood, Alex's mind raced. Was he dreaming? Had he somehow been transported to another world? Before he could ponder further, a voice startled him. "Intruder detected," a metallic tone announced. Alex turned to see a small, floating orb hovering nearby. Its surface glowed faintly, and it emitted a series of beeps as it scanned him. "Hey, I'm not an intruder," Alex said, raising his hands defensively. "I don't even know how I got here." The orb paused, as if considering his words, then emitted another series of beeps. "Subject identified, anomaly. Proceed with caution." "Great," Alex muttered. "Even robots think I'm weird." Before the orb could respond, a loud rumble echoed through the landscape. Alex turned to see a massive creature, part machine, part beast, emerging from behind a crystalline structure. Its glowing eyes locked onto him, and it let out a deafening roar. "Oh, come on," Alex groaned. "I just got here." The creature charged, its mechanical legs pounding the ground. Alex's instincts kicked in, and he sprinted away, narrowly avoiding the beast's massive claws. As he ran, he noticed a cluster of strange glowing plants ahead. Remembering his penchant for twisted thinking, he grabbed a rock and hurled it at the plants. To his surprise, the plants exploded in a burst of light and energy, temporarily blinding the creature. "Lucky guess," Alex muttered, taking the opportunity to hide behind a nearby structure. The orb, which had been hovering nearby, approached cautiously. Subject demonstrates resourcefulness. Potential candidate for... It trailed off, emitting a series of incomprehensible beeps. "Potential candidate for what?" Alex asked, catching his breath. But before the orb could answer, a shadow fell over them. The creature had recovered and was searching for him, its glowing eyes scanning the area. Suddenly a voice rang out. "Over here, you big lug!" A figure appeared, wielding a weapon that pulsed with energy. With precision and agility, they dispatched the creature, which collapsed in a heap of sparking machinery. The figure turned to Alex, their expression unreadable. "You don't belong here," they said, "but you've got potential. Come with me if you want to survive." Before Alex could respond, the ground beneath them began to shake. The massive tower in the distance emitted a low, resonating hum, and beams of light shot out from its peak. The figure glanced at the tower, then back at Alex. "We're out of time. Decide now." As Alex hesitated, the orb buzzed urgently. Anomaly detected. Tower activity escalating. Taking a deep breath, Alex, "All right, let's go." The figure smirked. "Good choice." Together they sprinted toward a nearby portal, the light of the tower growing ever brighter behind them. As they stepped through, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that his journey had only just begun.